It's a big pleasure for me to be joined by these next two guests. We are here tonight joined by Jenn Ellis and Benni Allan, who are, the co-founders of AORA. I think it's an incredible initiative that they've started, right? For anyone who is a fan of art, design, and architecture, you know me, right? Your boy LionHeart loves anything to do with well-being, design, and architecture. And these guys have come together to develop, an online platform, an online portal which allows established and upcoming artists and galleries to exhibit their exhibitions, right? So please give us a huge round of applause for the incredible Jenn Ellis and Benni Allan. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi, LionHeart.
Hello.
Going?
Listen, I'm doing very, very good right now. And listen, I am super excited to have this conversation with both of you. Now, I know this is a freeway conversation right now, so I'm probably going to have to balance who speaks and when. But we're going to start with you, Jenn, first, right? Benni, just wait for us a second, right? We'll be straight with you. Jenn, you as the co-founder, right? If you was to put AORA into, a very succinct way of explaining to my radio familia what it is, because clearly I probably butchered it somehow.
You did amazing. You did amazing. It's always weird when you hear someone else talk about what you've co-founded, like your little baby, but you nailed it. Look, to keep it succinctly, AORA is a virtual platform that combines art, architecture, music, and more with the aim of instilling a sense of calm, well-being, and discovery. The primary way that we do this is by having this incredible virtual space that is digitally native, that was designed by Benni, my co-founder, who's an architect. I myself am a curator. And we exhibit art and artists from all over the world. LionHeart's been insane. We've collaborated with over 120 artists and galleries, stretching from Papua New Guinea to South Africa to London to Mexico City. And we show their art. We create opportunities of display and sale. And we also have some really amazing programming to run alongside with it, right? And create a sense of community and accessibility.
Now, let me just say this to you, right? You deserve, and I don't have one to give you, but you deserve a Medal of Honor. I'm going to explain why. There's a quote by James Baldwin, right, which speaks about, how those who suffer can help other people suffer less. And I fall under that category. I've gone through my own experiences in life, and it's encouraged me. It's forged me to be a poet and work in the architectural space regarding well-being. Or I've done so much in the last 4 years. And it really makes me feel good to know that my negative experiences and what I've suffered have helped other people, learn the tips and tricks and trades and design features to help other people. Now, you yourself, had your own experience, and I don't know if you mind sharing that with us, because for me, that was probably the impetus which helped this start.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't mind sharing it. And I think it's really important to do so. And, thank you, LionHeart, for also you being open. So AORA, obviously we've been living in a very difficult world in general, but, health-wise over the last year and a half. But actually, this idea dates back to 5.5 years ago, when I myself was in hospital, and I noticed that there was art on the walls, but none in patients' rooms. So I went down 2 rabbit holes, and the first was to think, well, why would hospitals bother? Like, I know that it looks good and it makes me feel good, but maybe there's some sort of scientific reasoning behind it. And it was quite incredible to discover all these neurological benefits to being surrounded by art. And I'm not just saying visual art, music, poetry, all these different modes apply too. So I was like, okay, this is amazing. It's been improved to alleviate pain, reduce stress, improve your mood. But how do you bring these benefits to people who are immobile? So say you are in a hospital room. And so the idea at the time was, virtual reality. And I didn't really know anything about virtual reality. And so went off and created a first gallery actually back in 2017, and it just was not good, LionHeart. Like, there was nothing immersive or inspiring about it. So I went back to the drawing board and approached my dear friend and serial collaborator, Benni. And I was like, Benni, got this idea around art and health and virtual reality, and what do you think? And Benni is definitely the best place to talk about this, because he'd done a bunch of stuff looking at the relationship between design and dementia.
Oh, well, Benni, you better get yourself ready, my friend, because I'm about to dive in with you. All right, Jenn, hold your horses, Jenn. We'll be right back with you, all right? Benni, my friend, all right? Architect, let's have this conversation. Jenn has set us up and set us our radio familia, who I'm assuming are salivating right now to hear, your experience in terms of designing this online spaces, this virtual reality platform that allows other people to, engage with art of all different disciplines. Talk me through it, please, my friend.
So I think the first thing I'd say is that both Jenn and I deeply believe in care in all its forms, and our interests come together in our belief in the potential that art and architecture can have to change people's lives, which is where the idea for AORA came from. So it was to design a digital space that would complement and enhance the experience of art for people who need it most. So through the research I'd previously done in looking at spaces for people with dementia, as well as spaces for early years learners, I felt it was important that designing something to be experienced digitally should carry some of those qualities, which is about promoting discovery, learning, being inspired. When it comes to the design and form of our architecture, I often like to take ideas from places that I've already experienced and inspire me. So many of them, both Jenn and I have been lucky to visit and use as reference points. All of them have a deep connection between place, space, and context, things that you associate with healing benefits. And we wanted to incorporate those aspects to promote well-being and to make something that would be inspiring as much as the the art on show. So if you visit the space, which you can do online from a desktop, you'll see references to places like Naoshima in Japan, or the Yorkshire Sculpture Park, or a James Turrell installation. For us, it was about creating a space that was somewhat familiar, but would allow the user to get lost for a moment. It was about making a place that you could encounter and instantly feel calm. And that includes everything from the lighting, the way the artworks hang in the expansive space, through to the way that you navigate. We like to think of it as building in the digital world with soul.
Oh, I love that. You both are just a problem. All right, honestly, you're both a problem. Now, for me, who's someone is very much in this same field, in this industry, right? I've noticed that the experience you have in real life, sometimes the virtual world fails in comparison. But design elements, using modern day technology such as VR and augmented reality can achieve so much. We're looking at the metaverse now and seeing what that can do. I know a lot of architectural practices are playing with that too. Without talking about what's happening in the next year or two with AORA, right? Talk to me about 5 years from now, 10 years from now. What's the vision? You say that this company is anchored in care, and I can hear that. I can see that its roots lie within that. So what does the future look like? What are your ambitions? What are your objectives? What are the milestones that you want to have pertaining to care within your consumers and also within this ecosystem that you're creating with these artists? I'm going to throw that to Jenn.
Amazing. Great. Look, that's a huge question. I'm going to answer it from three different angles. Number one, the arts and culture sector has been the third most hit by COVID-19, according to HMRC. We've seen a major adaptation in terms of digital possibilities for artists, for galleries, and we want to be at the forefront of that. Right. We don't want to be replicating real life. There is nothing that beats going to a gallery in person and, seeing the textures and so on and so forth and interacting with your mate who's next to you. But we're not talking about copying. We're talking about creating another further opportunity, another place where we can encounter, and that has meaning in its own right. That also actually really expands the possibilities for artists as well. We've had this example with sculpture. Why do you need to be shipping massive sculptures from A to B, which has all kinds of climate implications as well, when you can play in the digital world, see what the limitless possibilities are, and then go and create in the physical world? Which then leads me to aspect number two. The future, I really do believe, is going to be more hybrid. And we have shown that. We've been having, obviously, our rotating virtual exhibitions and repeated online programming with amazing speakers from all over the world. But we've also had incredible pop-ups, like most recently on New Oxford Street, which kind of really tries to place us at the heart and at the forefront of thinking in both languages. They're languages, right? And, last but not least, we really want to be seen as pioneers in the art of well-being, right? How art is not something for just an exclusive few, but it's for everyone, because everyone around the world can access AORA so long as they have an internet connection, which is something we are even working on. But it's being well is not a right or a privilege. It's something that is endemic and important for every single individual around the world.
Listen, there are people probably thinking, what teleprompter is she reading from? But I know this is your heart. I can hear it, right? I know, the genesis of you having your own experience in hospital and what that has forged for you has allowed you and Benni to come together and create AORA in such, a pivotal and impactful way with regards to, well-being. I want to throw this to you now, Benni. In the world of architecture, we've seen the changes that well-being has had and the awareness of sustainability also. In the virtual reality space, I think one of the most exciting things for your customers, for your artists, is that the rules, that we have in real life, we don't have to pay attention to those. In fact, we can break those in the virtual reality world. Are you looking forward to collaborating with artists in exhibitions on how to break the rules of physics, of gravity within that space?
Completely. I mean, one of the things that constantly blows our minds is that we launched this in June last year and we had no idea where this was going to take us. Even though we designed it and had the idea years ago, it wasn't really launched till June last year. And we've had so much support from different people. I think the most incredible moment was when we did our first tour, sort of introducing everything. And one of the artists suddenly said, I really, really see this as a gallery. I see this as another space.
Right.
And for us, that suddenly cemented this idea that actually we had an opportunity to do something really incredible. And we've seen how much digital art is changing and how much more is available. And one of the great things is that making art can be quite expensive. So if actually we can give a platform to people where we can showcase art, which isn't necessarily available in the real world, but still people from all over the world can experience it, then that really gives us a lot of joy because then we're giving more people access to be able to showcase their work.
Right, and for me, this sounds like, the modern day Inception, but, within the art world sphere, which I find super, super attractive. Listen, unfortunately, guys, we're running out of time, and I wish I could take this conversation into the later hours of Wednesday morning, but I can't. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is to tell our, Radio Familia what they can do to find in, to be a consumer, to connect with you guys. How do they join online? How can they follow you online? Let us know everything. I'm going to throw this to you, Jenn.
Amazing. I mean, thanks so much for your time, LionHeart. Everyone out there, if you're listening, you can just go to www.aoraspace.com, and that's spelled AORA space.com. And then when you land on the website, you see space. You click on that, and you can then just open up into this portal and discover art from all over the world. We currently have a show that's thinking about urbanism across 3 different halls. And what I'll add to that is follow us also on Instagram. We're super engaged. So the handle is @AORASpace. And there you'll be updated with all of our events. We have a really amazing forum and performance series that's going to be launched in September, as well as a lot of other open call opportunities for any artist or architect or designer who's out there. And that's going to be launching for October and November forwards, and so much in the pipeline. But yes, website, Instagram, and I think that's it,
And I think, I'm definitely going to be someone looking forward to, the exhibition spaces that you guys are moving forward. Benni Allan, and Jenn Ellis, I want to thank you ever so much for joining me on air.
Thank you.
I cannot wait to speak to you guys again. Please do let me know when you are launching anything in November, and we'll have you back on the show. You guys have a brilliant night. Thank you again for joining me.
Thanks so much, LionHeart.